Okay, we are almost to the end. I wanted to spend some time to go over an article that I recently wrote and sort of the process that I went through for selecting it and then filling it ultimately with written and visual content. So there are two resources available in this video. One is a link to this blog post so you can follow along, and another is a link to this template, okay? And so GrowthHound actually creates initiative templates so that you can sort of assign tasks and follow repeatable steps. So content marketing is really one of our best examples. So you want to sort of say, okay, find a keyword, do these sort of set of steps over and over and over again. And so actually in GrowthHound, so like if you wanted to do this, we have a sandbox for content marketing. You can see some playbook details. That's not a good one. Where's what? Yeah, what is growth marketing? So this is the actual thing. Status, who's writing it, the playbook details, so I can reference the articles, and a bunch of other stuff, target the keyword, etc. So, you don't have to use that, obviously, because you have the master document, but if you do want that level of interactivity, you can do that. And so you actually have the reference in the editorial calendar. So you can click this link here and capture that and go to that initiative checklist from your editorial, so that you don't have to leave from this master document, and that's public as well, so you can use that each time. So what is growth marketing, right? Going into the article, so if you have that opened up, how did I come up with these visuals? How did I come up with these sections? How did I sort of how did I write this article? Because I'm not a content writer naturally, right? And so how did I do this? Okay, so going back to our master document and starting from the beginning, okay, I identified a persona. I said digital marketers love blog posts. They love sort of just like anything that's related to something that's cutting edge. So I want to write something about for digital marketers, okay, because they want to sort of know what the trends of the industry are. When I went to the keywords, I said, okay, what would sort of something be that what would be a good keyword that's low difficulty, high volume, and high contextual keyword, high contextual relevancy keyword. So difficulty, if you go down to the bottom, growth marketing, a 12. Wow, that's really helpful because that's low difficulty. And we look at the volume, and it's not nothing, right? It's not like 50 or less than 100 searches. People are searching for it. And growth marketing, just because it's so relevant to what our company does, is like an even higher value keyword to us, because that traffic is going to be so relevant, and it's going to be so pertinent to this sort of niche search offering. Because if I was a bakery writing about growth marketing, or if I was a law firm or some other sort of small business, then it wouldn't make sense if somebody came to my site and saw what is growth marketing. So you want to make sure that the trifecta of low difficulty, at least early on, highest search volume for the low difficulty, and then high contextual relevance for that search term. Because people obviously who are searching for growth marketing, they might are trying to find a definition. They might be looking for some sort of a solution. They're trying to understand it a little bit more. And so those are the types of people that we want to sort of educate and bring on, because ultimately this is about converting customers for your business or for your job. And so that gives us an idea. Okay, so we want to write about what is growth marketing. Okay, so in order to get some text references, what do we need to do? Okay, we need to type in growth marketing into our keyword into Google search to get some ideas. So the top three: what is growth marketing? Growth marketing, what is growth marketing? What is growth marketing? Your business needs it in 2020. And so we now have these reference articles that we can now look at and say, okay, we need to be better than these three combined. And if we look at these three, it's going to give us enough reference material that we can make some sort of a master document and be better than the three articles. And then hopefully what ends up happening as we're building other content and referencing it, that content rises over time and becomes the de facto standard for this keyword search result. And so looking at our article, okay, you can see there's a bunch of different things. Where do we get this? Okay, so going into these reference articles, what is growth marketing? There's a little bit of an opener. They have a slide share. That's pretty good, So like the thing is with blog content is that, if you want to add video, if you want to add a slide share, if you want to add other interactive stuff that isn't just an image and text, do it, because the more time that people spend on this and they're interacting with it, the higher the content is going to rank down the line as a high value search result. Okay, we have definition for growth marketing, quotes. Okay, what's in the next one? So what is growth marketing? So they have another definition, right? So maybe we can combine those two definitions. And they have, some sort of expanded content for this, so we can use that in maybe some of our, expanded material, sort of when we're trying to write sort of paragraphs. How can growth marketing be implemented? Super important. Okay, so they talk about the marketing funnel. So, we can actually obviously add some of those sections in there. How do you determine what type of experiment? Okay, experiments are very important. And then they finally have sort of a close. This one's really good. So obviously we could, do some sort of a visual that's similar. They have another definition of what is growth marketing, so we can find, add in, what we like and don't like. So one aspect of this is that, you kind of have to have an opinion about these things, right? If you're just sort of picking and choosing willy-nilly and you're not really giving thought about why you're trying to sort of write the content that you're writing, you end up just kind of with some sort of a mishmash of content writing that doesn't make any sense. So, it helps to be an expert on it. It's not a complete necessity. It becomes, more of a skill to be able to figure out which things are important. But, if you are working at your company, no doubt you have some sort of insights into what is relevant and what is not. So I imagine you have more expertise than you give yourself credit for. What makes it different? There's some imagery, qualities of a successful growth marketer, type of companies hiring, so some responsibilities and backgrounds. There's a versus definition. So this one's a really great article because it just has so much stuff. It even goes into specifics for how you can do all these like goals and whatever else. So like this one's honestly my favorite one because it has just so much thing, and they're probably following a similar idea about how to write content. And so if we go back to what is our growth marketing, how I write content is, and how you should write content is, once you've figured out your reference material, identify the big chunks that you want to do. So what were the big chunks? It was, the definition of growth marketing, how to implement quality successful marketer, some examples of growth marketing based on channel. So, being able to sort of get some ideas about, not just the, the paragraph content that you're going to write, but some sort of those big chunks that sort of define the structure of your blog post. And so once you sort of can write your draft, structure out which sections you're going to be writing about. And then you can bring over content and rephrase it and add your own thoughts and opinions on each of the individual sections. For some of the individual imagery, you saw that in one of the other ones. I use an amazing tool for that as well. And so you're thinking to yourself, I am not a designer either. This is getting so difficult. I'm not a designer, okay? I am like the least, aesthetically, beautifully, designed, inclined person on the planet. And yet, this tool called Canva, it's super popular amongst the technology space, allows me to drag and drop some really great designs and make it sort of relevant. So get ideas from the content about what you want to do, and then go and try and sort of do your stuff on your own. And so this isn't even like these things. I didn't design these. Okay, these are stuff that somebody else designed that I get to then sort of drag and drop and pretend like I came up with this entire piece of imagery. And so you can see here what is growth marketing. That's our feature image, and then some imagery in here. And don't be afraid to use screenshots. And so when I'm writing mine, I now have an opportunity to screenshot aspects of our tool and input this into the content to show portions of the tool for people who might be interested, and to show sort of authority, basically, that we sort of know what we're talking about, and how you can sort of do use growth marketing in your business as it's relevant to the keyword and it's relevant to the search result. And so we rip basically some of the content from all of these articles and make this sort of master article that covers a lot of the things that are sort of spoken about in some of these other places. A few things to note that I didn't do in this, because when you've sort of written it, okay, and now we've published this article, okay, and so we've moved the article through our master document from content idea to editorial to published stories, and now we need to do the promotion. So we've identified how we're going to promote it online. But one thing that you need to keep in mind is internal linking. And I haven't done this, okay? But when you write this content isn't just, hit publish and then forget about it, okay? You should be refreshing this, semi-constantly, not like a day-to-day thing, but maybe monthly, okay? And so when you're looking at your master document and you're looking at publish dates, so publish date, make sure that you're going back and reviewing and updating this, because the search results loves refreshed content. Okay, so make sure that you're going there. If things are new or different for that target keyword, you want to make sure that somebody's not doing to you what you did to other pieces of content. You want to make sure that your thing is still high quality, designed well, user experience, people are still visiting it, and it's ranking really high. But another thing you want to do is keep track of the internal and external links, okay? Because for each piece of content, you should be internally linking to other pieces of content, okay? So like growth marketing definition, okay, defining the key performance indicators. Maybe we write an article about key performance indicators, if that's a keyword, okay? So each one of these things, each word and phrase in this article is an opportunity to internally link to another piece of content, and vice versa, okay? So like when you publish this, you should go refresh other pieces of content to point to this piece of content so that people know that it's new, people come to it. Because what ends up happening in the search results is if somebody comes to your website via a digital marketer keyword, okay, but within the digital marketer keyword content, you point to growth marketing content, this article, then the time spent on site, the navigability of your site, content being able to sort of link to different places is super important, in both in terms of time spent, user experience, and for the search platforms to identify that this is a high value website. People come here and they get their problems solved. And so I didn't coin this phrase, but think of your strategy like Wikipedia. Okay, Wikipedia, I don't know where it ranks, but I know it's super high, like top 5, 10 in terms of organic search volume on the internet. And so, but when you go to Wikipedia, when you click on it, when you type in a search article, or first off, you type something into Google, a lot of times it comes up as the main search result. And why is that? It's because people are coming to that, obviously, and it's a high quality written piece of content. But then also it links to thousands of other pieces of content. It's a rabbit hole of discovery. And so when you go down there, you click one link, it takes you to another page. When you go to that page, there's 100 other links or 1,000 other links that you could select. So think of your link strategy like Wikipedia. You want to constantly be thinking about how can you internally link other content, but then also when you publish, make sure that you have whatever your 5, 10, 15, review the other pieces of content that you've published. Review these published pieces of content to see if there's opportunities to link to that new content. Okay, because if you don't do that, the only way that people are going to be able to find that are through search results. And so if you can give it a boost by saying, hey, look, we already did all this previous work. We did inbound marketing, public relations, Twitter ads, podcast, now and viral marketing examples. If we can point people to this new piece of content, it's going to improve the search results. It's going to improve that visibility, and it's going to boost your overall rankings of everything because there's going to be more time spent on it. So that's the idea, is that as you add more articles, more blog posts, that you are linking to each other so that people can sort of discover this new piece that they hadn't otherwise discovered. So that's it, I think, on that. I know that went a little bit long, but that's the last one, and I wanted to sort of really expand on how to write a blog post. And so that's it. You now have sort of a full beginning to end content marketing strategy, and you sort of the ins and outs and tips and tricks to make sure that you're doing that correctly.